A very big hello to everyone at the Blockworks Digital Assets Summit. It's an honor to speak with you about how the United States is going to dominate crypto and the next generation of financial technologies. And it's not going to be easy, but we're way ahead. Just 2 weeks ago, we hosted the first ever White House Digital Asset Summit, bringing together many of the world's top leaders in crypto for a conversation led by our White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, who's a fantastic and very brilliant guy. That same week, I signed an order creating the brand new strategic Bitcoin reserve and a U.S. digital asset stockpile, which will allow the federal government to maximize the value of its holdings instead of foolishly selling them for a fraction of their long-term value, which is exactly what Biden did. He got a fraction of their value.
We just heard a very large systemic bank here saying that they're launching their digital coin, currently piloted in a way within the institutional clients, but to be scaled beyond that. We heard from the European Central Bank that they have launched in November something that is called TIPS, that enables all the banks in the Eurozone to actually transfer instantly at virtually no cost money between them.
This has been a long battle. How much certainty does this provide? Is the entire case over?
So this provides a lot of certainty for Ripple, for frankly me personally, because the SEC had sued me. The SEC has abandoned their appeal. 4 years, we spent over $150 million defending that case. Not just for Ripple, but for the whole industry. I think it was really important that this SEC, the Gensler SEC, was really trying to bully and continue lawfare, filing lawsuits and lawsuits and lawsuits against crypto companies. That's over now, and I think that's great for the U.S. crypto industry and frankly great for crypto at large.
I mean, one more on the stockpile.
Yeah.
How much XRP would be in it? Where does it come from?
Well, my understanding of what I read about I think there are some questions, and that the devil may be in the details as Treasury implements some of this.
Absolutely in the details.
But my understanding is that the stockpile will be represented by seized other cryptos other than Bitcoin that then will be in that stockpile. So to the extent that various law enforcement agencies have seized cryptos, which would include XRP, that those would go into the stockpile in addition to the Bitcoin strategic reserve. That's my understanding.
So when you think about what's possible in terms of financial institutions, there's been a lot of conversation about loosening of regulations and red tape when it comes to the financial industry and its interactions with the crypto community. What are you actually seeing happen? Are banks really warming up in a way that's significant right now?
I mean, I think unequivocally, yes. Just in the last few weeks, I have seen U.S. financial institutions go from being like, look, we're just not going to touch it because we don't want the extra scrutiny of the regulators, which again, may or may not have even been legal, given these are legal businesses. But you have large banks who used to say negative things, now saying positive things. I think that the two areas you'll see the most activity in the short term, one is around custody. These are banks that want to be able to custody, particularly when you see real world assets being tokenized. You need to be able to safely manage and custody that for customers and potentially for the bank. And the second is around payments. The global payments infrastructure still remains very dated. Wires are slow. I just had a wire that I was sending over euros disappear for 5 days. That's surprising in a world of the internet.
So one part of that payments.
So I just want to say something real quick. That's something most people don't understand, is that the payment system is outdated.
Correct.
It's outdated. And we're living in the world of the internet. You just heard Brad Garlinghouse say it. You know what I'm saying? No, they already got technology, man. They need to implement this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So far, only thing I heard really was, okay, the core stuff is done, but one thing y'all not doing, y'all not informing the people on really what's going on.
That's right.
Y'all been meeting with the IMF and World Bank and the World Economic Forum and different people around the world for years. Y'all set up with every central bank around the world. Tell the people that. Tell the people that this is what y'all going to use to create new money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The very first blockchain that can handle large volume of transactions and haven't had any problems. Quantum technology. Tell the people that. You know what I mean? Start telling people exactly what it really is. Tell the people most of your rich and wealthy already hold these tokens. They're gonna enrich themselves. Now my thing is this. Y'all gotta get going, Brad Garlinghouse. Okay, we owe trillions in debt. We can pay it off with crypto. You heard Trump say it.
Who knows? Maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand him a little crypto check, right? We'll hand him a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
But how do you want it to be more prominent in America? How will that work?
Oh, it's going to work easily. It's already prominent. It's moving along. It's very loosely regulated. That's one of the reasons it's moving along. But it is a different form of a currency, and it's going to end up benefiting the country. But if we shut it down, like, Biden's trying to shut it down, Biden doesn't have the intellect to shut it down. Can you imagine this guy's telling you to shut something down like that? He has no idea what the hell it is. But if we don't embrace it, it's going to be embraced by other people. It's a massive thing already. Did you read where it's bigger than any company in the world already? I mean, if you look at the market, it's bigger than many countries. It's a very big thing. If we're not going to be the leader, we have the people that are the leaders. I know some of them. They're very smart. And if we don't embrace it, other countries are going to embrace it. Other countries will anyway. But we can be the leader, and we might as well be the leader.
You see what I'm saying? The U.S. economy need it. The world need it. You know what I'm saying? The longer y'all take, the more other countries is building around you. What you want to wait till China get going? The BRICS nations get going?
Right.
Y'all got to start moving, man. What you think about that, LT?
I mean, I totally agree with you. I didn't really hear too much of anything just because, we've been heavy in the space for a long time and we've just been watching. Like we said before on our, check out our other videos speaking about XRP. We really know what's going on.
Absolutely.
And just release the money, man. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, and when we say release the money, I'm not saying, give the people the money. No, they got to put the money in the market. So they're doing a lot of testing with a lot of institutions and a lot of central bankers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They ready. Like she asked her questions about, how, are the banking institutions in the U.S. ready for this type of change or something to that effect? I don't know verbatim, but something to that effect. And he basically just said we've been working on them and they're ready. They're ready. Before they didn't want anything to do with it or touch it. But they're ready. But like you said, he's not telling everything. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been moving money with XRP for the longest.
Right, from country to country.
Country to country. And that's the whole basis. Like that's why I said that's why we tell y'all to research XRP, because you will learn about cross-border payments, because our system is, like he said, it's old and outdated.
It's outdated.
This new system that they got, them cross-border payments happening like that.
Seconds.
So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
To pay for all this stuff, man, for AI, for everything, man. We'll cancel a lot of jobs over here. Just in general, a lot of jobs globally gonna be gone with the technology, man. People need some. We need them to activate XRP. Now, David Sachs and the rest of y'all in this crypto committee underneath Trump, y'all gotta get going, man. Create the rules. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Create something basic, man. You got to get it going. The people hurting, man. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere they need to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Activate this stuff now for everybody to win, not just the rich and wealthy.
Right. You have to be, like you said, you got to be transparent with the people. We're sitting down here listening to XRP and Ripple. Most people still don't know what they're listening to this interview. They still don't even know what it is.
Hey, they don't know who you is.
Exactly.
Brad Garlinghouse.
But you're the face of the SEC crypto, versus crypto community. You know what I'm saying? There's other projects or the companies that got sued by the SEC, Coinbase, Kraken, other. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I'm just saying there's other U.S. projects that's also been sued, but Garlinghouse and Ripple are the forefront. So we have to question, why are they the forefront of every time something happened with the SEC in this crypto space? He is getting interviewed about these things.
Yeah.
They got to be open about what's really going on.
Another thing, man, people don't realize this is going to back the whole global digital system. You understand? Once again, this is not just for the rich and wealthy to get rich. This for those who hold this token as well. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get going, man, and you got to start activating stuff, and you have to be more transparent with the people. Brad Garlinghouse, where you at, David Schwartz? Come on, give us another example how the token could be $1 million token. Why you ain't telling the people that? Or if y'all decide it's gonna be a $10 million token, why would it be that much? Because y'all hold it. Y'all hold it, and most people around the world that got real wealth, they hold it. You see what I'm saying? So y'all gotta get going, man.
Infrastructure that I'm watching really closely is, of course, stablecoins.
Sure.
There is starting to be more clarity in Washington, and you're seeing people starting to use stablecoins in really interesting ways. I think about Robinhood, for example, using stablecoin in terms of facilitating 24-hour trading. What's next? I mean, if you think about the next forefront of stablecoins now that the U.S. is getting toward clarity, what's possible?
Well, I think we're underestimating how big that might get. You know, today that market's about $230 billion. So I think some smart people think that may go up 10x in the next 5 years. I think that's probably right. I mean, the two leading players, and Tether as well as USDC, are both, I think, poised to do well in that market. Ripple launched our own stablecoin at the end of last year. That's already ahead of our own internal forecasts in terms of where we are at this point in the year. Still, we're small, but the goal is by the end of the year for RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin, to be one of the top 5 in the market by the end of the year. And I think the whole market's going to grow dramatically over this year.
So what does it take you to get there? Who are you pairing up with? Are you creating some financial partnerships in order to make RLUSD more of a household name?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even today we had more listings go live for RLUSD on some global crypto exchanges. Anytime you do something new, it takes a minute for that kind of, the pun of the ripple effect of seeing how that plays out. And so we're seeing that happen in real time. So I'm really pleased. And again, as I said, we're ahead of our Q1 forecasts of where we expect it to be. So we feel really good about that progress.
So y'all see that they own 42%. That's almost half. Now, what we about to tell you is that the whole country of Japan has plans to use XRP. India, central banks around the world. You understand? And so we have these central bank systems set up. This is the technology that they all agreed upon. Okay, we're going to use this to move money in the digital world. And this is what Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz need to come out and tell the people, especially the American citizens who was tricked by previous administrations. Y'all see, this was put together in 2012.
Correct.
But it goes back further than this. They've been had plans to do this, man. Y'all need to tell the people what's going on. For real. What you think, LTs?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't really got too much to add. You know, I kind of pretty much said everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, thank y'all, man. Continue to tune in, like, subscribe, man. We got some more for you. Shout out to everybody in the crypto community, XRP globally. Let me say something, man. I don't care how much you got. If you got $10, you need to put 5 of it on XRP. You know what I'm saying? Around the world, y'all need to hold XRP. Every country. All right? Peace.
We believe ETFs are a technology no different than Bitcoin was a technology for asset storage. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we could customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock and it's now time to vote, every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own shares.
Is this the end of mutual funds?
I think, well, a lot of people, it's a wrapper. It's not the end of it, but I would say the dominant form of bringing products going forward will be in the form of ETFs.
I've also called on Congress to pass landmark legislation creating simple, common sense rules for stablecoins and market structure. With the right legal framework, institutions large and small will be liberated to invest, innovate, and take part in one of the most exciting technological revolutions in modern history. It's so big, it's, I think, as big as you can get. Pioneers like you will be able to improve our banking and payment system and promote greater privacy, safety, security, and wealth for American consumers and businesses alike. You will unleash an explosion of economic growth, and with the dollar-backed stablecoins, you'll help expand the dominance of the U.S. dollar, and many, many years to come, it'll be at the top, and that's where we want to keep it. We only want to keep it at the top, always. I can already see that the energy and passion of the crypto community is the kind of spirit that built our country, and it is exciting to watch as you invent the future of finance. And right here, it's going to be right here in the USA, the good old USA. Together, we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world. Thank you. Good luck. God bless America.
So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system. I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem. You don't need trust banks.
One of the main topics up there was cryptocurrencies and all sorts of companies now getting into this effort, not least among them Facebook. What kind of threat does this pose to the traditional banking system?
Well, I think you have incumbents, the banks, commercial banks, and you have the disruptors. And clearly the disruptors are having an impact on the incumbents. So I think the role of the disruptors and anything that is using distributed ledger technology, whether you call it crypto assets, currencies or whatever, and it's far from the bitcoins that we used to talk about a year ago, that is clearly shaking the system. The voice that we heard, which was, I thought, really interesting, were those of the regulators and central bank governors who said, well, yes, this is good and this is helpful and it is changing the business model of commercial banks. But we have to be mindful of two things, trust and stability of the system. And we are equally concerned, we at the IMF, about stability. We don't want innovation that would shake the system so much that we would lose the stability that is needed.
And are regulators doing enough right now to ensure that stability and as well competition from some of these big tech companies being involved in this space?
You know, I think they're mindful of wherever the competition is coming from. The central bank governor of Kenya was explaining to us that they gave a banking license to a telecom company. And I think in the future, we have to look at what lots of data collectors and movers are going to do and whether they're going to move into the banking space forcefully, in which case they will have to be regulated. They will have to be held accountable so that they can be fully trusted.
Madame Lagarde, I know you have a tight schedule. Thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live. We always love to have you, and our viewers are certainly happy to see you back with us. Thanks so much.